dito sa nakalista na mga jurisdiction ng ICC. Ang magbibista niyan ay ang korte doon sa bayan na yon, hindi ang International Criminal Court in The Hague.
He is preventing us from doing our job of loading the former president to the plane.
Hinarang ba kayo?
Yes, ma'am.
So inaamin mo walang warrant?
At the many stages, ma'am, all the many other,
Hindi,
among
make
other
up your
laws.
mind, General Torre. Warrantless arrest ba to o may warrant? Kasi ang liwanag naman ng Article 125 ng Revised Penal
I do
Code.
believe that I have a warrant at this time. I just don't want to be...
Di walang reglementary period. Mamili ka. Kapag warrantless arrest, edi may period. Kapag may warrant, walang period.
Just the same, ma'am, I have to deliver
Hindi
him to the
pareho
judicial
yun,
proper authority.
kapatid. Hindi magkapareho yun. The reglementary period only comes into play when there's a warrantless arrest in accordance with Article 125 of the Revised Penal Code. Di po ba? At saka may kinalaman yun sa delivery of the accused and arrested. Di po ba?
And I'm being cautioned by the DOJ, ma'am, that it may be sub judice already to discuss that because of the habeas corpus pending in the Supreme Court, ma'am.
Pati ba naman ng Revised Penal Code, naging executive session, pambihirang buhay ito.
President Duterte may lengguwahe, pag lumaban, patayin nyo yan. His explanation is that yun kasi naiintindihan ng kriminal. Pero ang pulis, aral yan, so alam nila tama't mali.
Maraming salamat, Senator Jinggoy. Marami tayong pinagdaanan, kapatid. Kaya't eto nga, talagang dinudibdib
Madam
natin
Chair,
na to. Yes, Secretary JONVIC lang po.
Kay VP, kay Senator at sa iyo, hugot ng mga anak ng presidente yan.
Sumpa. Secretary JONVIC, itatanong ko lang, why was there obstruction of justice? Paliwanag lang. Anong ginawa nila na obstruction of justice?
I think General Torre would be the best one to explain that, ma'am.
General?
Sir.
Sabi niyo nag-obstruction of justice kaya aarestuhin na rin ninyo si Attorney Medialdea. Ano po yung ginawa ni Attorney Medialdea na obstruction of justice?
We are about to load an arrested person into a plane to transport him to the tribunal who issued the warrant. And Attorney Medialdea is preventing us from doing that. He shouted at us and intimidated us, including the president intimidating me.
Alam ko malaking tao si Attorney Medialdea pero hinarang ba kayo? Tinulak ba kayo? Wala namang ginawa eh. Hindi naman nadadaan sa salita yung obstruction eh.
He did, ma'am. So I do believe that under that circumstances, I have to arrest him to reasonable force. And I did. I do believe that I used reasonable force to ensure compliance for him to step aside for us to load the former president to the plane.
So yun lang yung obstruction dahil nagsisigawan yung mag-asawa?
He is preventing us from doing our job of loading the former president to the plane.
Hinarang ba kayo?
Yes, ma'am.
Anong ginawa? Hindi
Nakikita
namin
naman sa video
makita
eh.
Ang
Nakikita
nakita
naman sa
ko
video.
lang, pinipilit niyo iposas, hindi magkasya yung posas.
Yes, that's one thing, ma'am. He's blocking my way. He is preventing us. He actually placed another chair at the side of the president for the former president to sit, which is already very much delaying everything because the plane is already ready to fly.
Ba't kayo masyadong nagmamadali?
We are going, unang-una ma'am, ang reglementary period, mamalasin naman kami pag hindi namin ginawa ang trabaho
Bakit?
namin.
Anong reglementary period? Anong period yun?
The Article
Dahil
125
sinabi na nga ni Executive Director sa ating PCT, institution lang naman yun eh. Wala nga commitment pinag-usapan doon. Wala nga red notice, pambira eh.
There is a warrant.
Takal na ni Arnie Tebes eh, wala pa rin, di ba?
This
Ba't
is
kayo nagmamadali? Ano yung reglementary period mo?
May I refer it to the SOJ, ma'am, if the SOJ wants to answer that.
Hindi ba pwede kayo na muna?
Okay.
Mauna lang kayo, tapos sa si SOJ, pwede?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
My main processes during the time is that I have implemented a warrant, and it is therefore the person is already arrested by virtue of a legal warrant, And Article 125 comes into play of the revised penal code, which is entitled Delivery of Persons Legally Arrested to the Proper Judicial Authority. And I do believe at this point, the judicial authority will be the ICC. Therefore, I have to abide with that Article 125 of the
So
revised penal
inaamin
code.
mo warrantless arresto. Kasi yung Article 125 ng RPC does not apply kung may warrant. So inaamin mo walang warrant.
At the many stages, ma'am, all the many other,
Hindi,
among
make
other
up your
laws.
mind, General Torre. Warrantless arrest ba to o may warrant? Kasi ang liwanag naman ng Article 125 ng revised penal
I do
code.
believe that I have a warrant at this time. I just don't want to be...
Di walang reglementary period. Mamili ka. Kapag warrantless arrest, edi may period. Kapag may warrant, walang period.
Just the same, ma'am, I have to deliver
Hindi
him to the
pareho
judicial
yun,
proper
kapatid.
authority.
Hindi magkapareho yun. The reglementary period only comes into play when there's a warrantless arrest in accordance with Article 125 of the revised penal code. Di po ba? At saka may kinalaman yun sa delivery of the accused and arrested. Di po ba?
And I'm being cautioned by the DOJ, ma'am, that it may be sub judice already to discuss that because of the habeas corpus pending in the Supreme Court, ma'am.
Pati ba naman ng revised penal code, naging executive session, pambihirang buhay ito. Okay. Senator Cayetano?
Ma'am, can I have a few questions, baka 10 to 15 minutes and a short introduction lang. Okay. So, good afternoon ulit, gentlemen, ladies. Pasensya nyo yung aking introduction. I'm not imposing this on you. This is my personal code, di ba? So, more than being Alang Cayetano or a senator, a former Secretary of Foreign Affairs or former Speaker or Congressman, I believe I'm an ambassador of the Lord Jesus Christ, di ba? So, I'm not imposing that on anyone, but our USEC here will tell you, ambassadors don't have opinions. Kung ano ang sinabi ng principal nila, yun ang iyong opinion. Hindi ka pwede magsariling opinion. So when we pray, yung Lord's Prayer na, Your kingdom come here on earth as it is on heaven, you're actually aligning your government and your culture with God's culture, di ba? And God's purpose. Yung pinakasimple is, do good or promote good, prevent evil. Parang sa police din, Sir Marbil, di ba, na prevent evil, do good. Saan nagkakatalo? Nagkakatalo dun sa mga pro-Duterte na the drug war was a war for peace and order. It was a war because many pushers and to certain effect addicts who committed crimes were making people unsafe. So to those who are supportive of that, they're doing God's will of promoting good. Doon naman sa human rights activist, ang ano nila, accountability. So kahit yan ay pusher or addict, hindi dapat patayin na lang or EJK. Wala tayong complication if Duterte was more like FDR or more like Pinoy because his language was more diplomatic. So you wouldn't hear FDR, despite being a distinguished soldier, one of the founders ng special forces, di ba, even sa police, di ba? So pero kasi si President Duterte may lengguwahe, pag lumaban, patayin nyo yan. His explanation is that yun kasi naiintindihan ng kriminal. Pero ang police, aral yan, so alam nila tama't mali. So if you looked at the videos when I was the foreign minister, I had nothing to do with operations, but part to nung explaining to the world what was happening, and part to nung communications. It was both based on the foreign policy, and the President allowed me to put a little bit of my opinion. So ang stand namin doon during that time, and this is where I'll start my questions, SOJ, is that lahat ng mali iimbestigahan. So the only way that President Duterte will have a chance to show na walang systematic culling of addicts, extrajudicial killing, walang crime against is individual one-on-one investigations. What confused everything during that time? first, meron po kasing issuance ang sila Secretary de Lima noon, ni-redefine nila yung extrajudicial killing. AO 35. Kaya yung 13,000 to 18,000 na patay every year during the Aquino administration, suddenly nung Duterte administration, so nung time nila, sinabi nila hindi extrajudicial yon. So nandun sa AO, tinanggal nila yung mga activist na hindi daw extrajudicial killing yon. So pagdating ng Duterte time, basta't patay at hindi natural causes, extrajudicial. Okay? Pero klaro din naman na dumami din because nga, once you started the campaign, meron talagang away among the syndicates, meron, from the start, Duterte said, meron politiko, meron police, may businessman, lahat yan may involved sa drugs. And no one of us naman doubted that. Ang question lang, yung due process sa mga police at politiko dun sa drug war. So, klaro tayo dun. So, eto lang yung question ko. SOJ, feel free kung tingin mo, sub judice or issue na to, but factual lang, no? I think this is of public record. Former Senator De Lima was a Commission on Human Rights chairperson 2008 to 2010. Tama, no? Yeah. So, no one disputes that. Sa pagkaalam ko, wala siyang final na case during that time na siya'y CHR. So, I'll just check that, Madam Chair, and then submit it to the committee. But ang pagkaalam ko, walang case. Okay. But eto siguro masasagot ng DOJ kung hindi ngayon, just forward the answer. From 2010 to 2015, despite the investigation of former Senator De Lima noong 2008 to 2010, ang sabi niya, mahirap kumuha ng witness kasi nga mayor pa siya noon, tapos malakas daw sa presidente noon. I think he was peace and order head nung region eh. But 2010 to 2015, siya ang DOJ secretary. Sa pagkaalam ko, wala rin siyang final na case. To your knowledge, may final ba ang DOJ noon or special prosecutor against Duterte ng 2010?
I have no idea,
Yeah.
sir.
Can we double check?
I will double check,
Yeah,
sir.
okay. Sa pagkaalam ko po, sir, wala. Okay. Ang point ko is that either wala siyang kaso, meaning wala siyang ebidensya, because if she had, why didn't she file it? During the time na siya nakaupo, na walang poder si Mayor Duterte. Okay. Fast forward, 2016, September pa lang, so June 30 kami naging senador. Siya, I was an incumbent noon. July, last week of July ang third week ang SONA. So July, August, September. Wala pang 2 buwan as senator, nakakuha daw siya ng 2 importanteng witness, si Edgar Motobato and former PNP officer ba siya or Arturo Las Cañas. Again, I won't make a judgment here as far as the 2 witness, but dito niya ginawa, okay? Again, no cases filed. And yung pagkagawa ng hearing was very political. I was just testing the credibility of Edgar Motobato and Arturo Las Cañas. For all I know, they were very credible. Pinatayan ako ng mic dito sa sesyon. Inagawan ako ng mic, ini-intimidate ako. And although namagitan si Senator De Lima, hindi niya sinensure, hindi niya pinagalitan yung umalis ng mic. And anyway, history is the record. Ang point ko, still, they did not file cases dito sa Pilipinas. Pero hawak nila yung 2. Sabihin mo nang walang mangyayari, I don't agree, but sabihin mo walang mangyayari kasi panahon ni President Duterte yon. So again, fast forward, no? From 2022, June 30, when President Marcos took over in Marcos administration, to present, do you know of cases filed against President Duterte, whether it's murder or crimes against in the Philippines?
I think Senator Sonny Trillanes filed cases.
Okay. So meron.
But this went to the office of the Prosecutor General, who immediately forwarded the said cases without going to my office to the Ombudsman. And there, it's just locked in there already. It never went back to us.
So as we're discussing naman SOJ, this is factual lang naman, di ba? May case ba, wala? We're not making judgments dun sa cases. But ang point ko kasi, kung walang case, bakit? Kasi kung walang ebidensya, no point for ICC to take it up kasi wala ngang ebidensya. If it's because hindi matry dito for whatever reason, di ba, pinoprotektahan natin, our justice system doesn't work, then dapat mapunta sa ICC. So I don't know the amount of evidence attached to the complaint of Senator Trillanes. Again, I won't comment. Factual lang yon. I have my opinions, but I'll keep my opinion to myself. No. But in June 24, 2022, so ano pa to? Duterte pa to, no? Kasi June 30 pa ang Marcos, di ba? Nag-file ang Solgen sa ICC ng deferral request. So you're aware of this. So, okay. So tignan na lang nasa page 315, no? Kasi can I have the ayan sa ICC? I think you talked about jurisdiction but hindi nagsentro sa Article 17 din pero sa ICC hindi dun sa batas natin. Okay. So I think the referral was based on
Ito yung
5
ito yung notice of deferral.
18-2. So just for the record ng mabilis lang, I haven't even read that yet but just for us understanding and then baka makatulong not necessarily on what side but makatulong sa Supreme Court, no. Okay, Article 17, issues of admissibility. Having regard to paragraph 10 of the preamble of Article 1, the court shall determine that a case is inadmissible where, okay, ICC to, Rome Statute, which we ratified and then we withdrew, no? Sabi A, the case is being investigated or prosecuted by a state which has jurisdiction over it unless the state is unwilling or unable genuinely to carry out the investigation of prosecution. So again, SOJ, I won't put you on the spot, but for me, 2008 to 2010, hindi naman unwilling at hindi naman unable to carry out yung state. This was the time of President Arroyo. 2010 to 2016, to be fair, niratify yung ICC 2011 pa. So, naging effective 2011. So, wala na yung 2010. But for me, 2010, 2011, ganyan, hindi unwilling ang state. In fact, pumirma nga sa ICC, hindi rin unable yung state. Wala lang talagang final. Letter B, the case has been investigated by the state which has jurisdiction over it and the state has decided not to prosecute the person concerned unless the decision resulted from unwillingness or inability of the state genuinely to prosecute. In general, SOJ, SILG, no? In general, Sir Marbil, Chief PNP, in general, I don't remember that the Philippine government decided not to prosecute, di ba? Kasi under our present laws, if you find probable cause, even the President cannot stop it. Even ang pardon natin, iba sa US Constitution. Sa pardon, you can pardon right away sa US. Sa atin, kailangan ano na, di ba, final, di ba, kailangan final and executory.
Final
diba?
judgment.
Final judgment, di ba? Final judgment. So kung nag-a-appeal ka pa, hindi ka pwedeng humingi ng pardon. So I don't think we stopped any case or refused to, ano. The third one is the person has already been tried for the conduct in which the subject complaint and trial is not permitted. So I think this is their version of double jeopardy, no? So wala din yan kasi wala pa namang kaso si former President and former Mayor Duterte. Letter D, the case is not sufficient gravity to justify further court order. I won't comment dyan kasi nasa ICC yan. Except that, ang nilagay nila, at least 19, and then at least din ba yung 23 or 23. So, I have a little bit of a problem that. Kasi pag sinabing crimes against humanity, naaalala mo na yung mga dictators sa of the old sa Africa or some in the troubled areas of not the untroubled areas of the Middle East na grabe ang patayan and everything, di ba? So to put the Philippines there with President Duterte, I think it's a little bit unfair na gamitin mo at least. Di ba? Kasi kung sinabi mong from 17 to 1,000, at least may idea tayo. Pero at least 17, ano yon? Baka 18, baka 19. And don't get me wrong, every life matters. Pero iba kasi yung crime against humanity, iba yung murder lang. No? Again, hindi ko nilalang ang murder in the sense na one life yon, you should still be tried. Di ba? So for the record, if we have evidence, we should file the cases here against President. He should face here. Okay? So, mahaba pa to, so hindi ko babasahin lahat, pero just to go to 18, challenges to the jurisdiction of the court or the admissibility of a case. So, pwede kasing mag-file yung Solgen. And then, nandito, if a challenge is made by the state, the prosecutor shall suspend the investigation until such time as the court in accordance. So, ang point lang dito, and correct me now or later on kung mali, is that at any time, kung alam natin may investigation, pwedeng sabihin nung state tayo na sandali, we're hearing it here, or may ongoing dito, or mali kayo. Of course, they can overrule us. They can say, no, we don't believe justice will be there. So, to my knowledge, during the Duterte time, never tayong nag-intervene na, except etong kay Solgen ng June 24. I mean, I may be wrong ha, kasi knowledge ko lang to, but June 24, nag-intervene siya. Sinabi niya, sandali lang, please postpone, di ba? Hindi ko pa nababasa anong dahilan na to postpone. During the Marcos administration, we did not, no? We had no filing sa ICC whether na ituloy niyo yan o wag niyong ituloy yan.
It was Secretary Guevara who filed the Philippine position with the ICC.
But that was still Duterte time kasi September.
No, it was already our time.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So I'll refer to that. But did we ask them to stop or to proceed or?
Yes, we were asking them to stop, but
We asked them to stop.
But we failed the test. We didn't win the case.
Okay. Did they tell you why? Was it our justice system or they said na pwede pa rin? Or just submit
It's actually the ruling also that what is being tried here is not a country but individuals who may have violated international humanitarian law.
Sige po. But clear naman dun sa Articles 17 and 18, the state intervenes but it's individuals naman eh. Diba? So I won't go into that na. So I'll move on to, sinabi ni SOJ kanina na investigations are ongoing. Diba? Whether this is individual or groups, whether police or nothing to police, di ba? Na sa lahat ng extrajudicial killing.
But it has not been easy, Mr. Senator.
It's not.
It has not been easy.
To your point, I don't have it right now, ha? But Senator De Lima said hindi inimbestigahan. I looked at the investigative capacity of the PNP during the Aquino administration. Parang 1/3 din lang ang naimbestigahan. And of the total na naiimbestiga, it was I will correct my numbers, but it was like only 20% of those investigating were trained for investigation. That was a long time ago at minana din lang ni President Aquino yon. But ang point ko, there was no substantial difference between the investigations in the Aquino and Duterte.
The difficulty that we had from 2022 is that in wrongful death situations throughout the country, where something foul was suspected, there were no police reports.
Okay.
As a matter of practice, there were no police reports on wrongful death situations. And when we tried to dig further and we spoke to the medical legal, the most known medical legal person in the country, Dr. Fortune, when she investigated a wrongful death situation, the death certificate indicated cardiac arrest as the cause of death. But in the autopsy, there were bullet holes in the head of the person.
That is in itself is evidence, di ba?
Yes,
if there
it's
was
evidence.
If there was widespread na walang police report, and that's the first time I heard that, because when I was SFA, Foreign Affairs Secretary, and I was asking, sinasabi nila, sir, lahat yan at dapat pagka-suspicious, ganito yung sistema. No? And kung meron forensic na cardiac arrest, ganyan, so at the very least, may falsification yan. Diba?
Yeah, when we looked at the records of the wrongful death situations, there were really no police reports.
Okay.
Maybe 95% had no police reports.
So, anyway, that's for another hearing, etc. Ang point ko lang, our justice system is working.
It is working.
It is working. I mean,
Yes.
it has its ups and downs, and may common belief na pag administrasyon mo, administrasyon ng presidente, may konting protection for that. May ganun belief, whether it's true or not. But this isn't anymore the... So, 2008 to 2010, 2010 to 2016, kung saan man, kailan man nagkaroon ng break-up unit team, hindi na panahon ni President Duterte ngayon to. So,
Actually, what cases that we are speaking about were filed by their families in the ICC.
Yes.
Because they could not get justice in the country.
yeah.
I think that's one thing that nobody wants to acknowledge, is that there was a failure of our justice system there for a long time. And they had to file their cases in the ICC to get any attention at
Yes.
all from anybody who cared. Because for the longest time, ito mga biktima, yung mga namatayan, yung mga pamilya nilang namatay o kaya napaslang sa drug war, ay wala ho nang mapuntahan. Kaya doon ho sila nagpunta sa ICC.
I said SOJ na may belief na pag panahon ni Arroyo, it's very hard to go after. May truth o hindi in the sense that meron na presidential while you're president. Pero pagkatapos hindi, di ba? That's why after President Erap's time, nakulong siya. After President Arroyo's, nakulong siya, di ba? After President Aquino's time, wala naman nag-file ng kaso kay President Aquino. Okay? So kung ang belief, wala kang justice kay Duterte during his time, I won't comment, but that's a belief. But 2008 to 2010, hindi sila nag-file. 2010 to 2016, hindi sila nag-file. And then ngayon, pwede sila mag-file. Diba? So, and walang so I mean, the ICC should also look at our patterns and system. It's not only the period eh. So, the second point I want to make is that Cotabato, one, hindi naman dinala ni, and she's free to manifest here kung mali ako, di naman niya dinala sa DOJ or sa Ombudsman yung dalawa eh. After dalhin sa Senate, hindi ko na alam kung anong ginawa nila. Okay, two, assuming it was because they think walang mangyayari during Duterte's time, did anyone bring Edgar Matubato and Las Cañas either to the DOJ, NBI, or to the... Pwede bang dumiretso sa witness protection or that?
Marami ho kami nakakausap na possible witnesses.
Yes.
But not them.
Yeah.
But not Matubato.
But example lang, yung dalawa lang, no? So, ang point ko lang, di ba, if the rest of the world, the European human rights activists, etc., for the record, SOJ, if these gentlemen are brought to you, and I'm not talking about the prosecutorial lang or DOJ, I'm talking about the whole machinery, the witness protection, the NBI, the PNP, the CIDG, will we investigate?
Yes, we will.
Yes.
We would have. We would have.
We will, di ba? So, in the same manner that General Torre is complaining about vloggers who have fake news about him, if there are complaints about Marcos vloggers na fake news, you will also investigate CIDG, di ba? I mean, people might believe or not, but you are duty bound to investigate whatever side, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but of course, during Duterte's time, they did not believe. If kasuhan mo Duterte vloggers, they don't believe may mangyayari, di ba? But I think there were some na cyber libel even during Duterte's time, no? So the point lang I'm making, and it is not addressed to you but to the international community, is that the Philippines is a vibrant democracy. Di ba? Our economy is good. The peaceful transition from Arroyo to Aquino, from Aquino to Duterte, from Duterte to Marcos has done as well eh. So yes, we have problems with politics now, but which country doesn't? The US, Europe and the US. Di ba? May mga significant difference sila. I mean, many countries are at war. We're not at war. Di ba? We have problems with China, but we're working it out. Di ba? We have problems with other countries. We're working it out. We have problems with Pogo. We're working it out. Di ba? So my point is, di ba, na in my view, dito dapat, yes, accountability, pero dito dapat trinay ang ating dating Pangulo. The last point point I want to make is that iba pa rin pag former president. I mean, sa US, nasa US Constitution nila that the Americans can't be tried elsewhere. But lalo kung US president. So sa akin kasi, kahit former siya, hindi na siya presidente, he's still a symbol eh. Diba? Like me, diba? You know how hard I went against President Arroyo when she was president. But when I was speaker, may pinagawa siya sa House, winelcome ko siya, etc. Kasi yung office, even if hindi ka na doon, nire-respeto mo pa rin iyon eh, di ba? So,
Maybe I can,
Go ahead, sir.
I have to tell the Senate that nobody's happy with what happened.
okay.
Wala akong maligaya sa nangyaring ito. Ngunit kailangan lang gawin namin yung aming katungkulan. Sa tingin namin yun ang aming katungkulan, ginawa namin ang aming tungkulin.
And sir, that's where we disagree kasi tingin namin there was another avenue to go to court. But as you said, that'll be probably part of the litigation. See the, not opinion, last few. So who received the March, so kailan po yung warrant? March 10 or March 11?
I know
March 11, sir.
March 11.
March 7 it was under seal.
Okay, under seal.
Yun. Tapos March 11
Who or what office received it?
The PCTC,
PCTC.
sir.
They received it. Then from them, Santrin and Smith.
To all the relevant law enforcement agencies.
Law enforcement. Then,
Yes, there are 3 Interpol connections in the country: NBI, Immigration, and of course the PNP.
okay. Then when it was unsealed, was it immediately executed or did any relevant government lawyers review it muna to see whether a Filipino citizen, whether the rights of a Filipino citizen was being...
Sir,
impeded?
just to be clear,
Yeah.
after the warrant was served on March 11, 3 a.m., it was only in the postmortem that we learned about the unsealing on March 7. So there was no information to us in the effect that it was unsealed on March 7 until after the service of the warrant.
Can you enlighten me on that sec? So the unsealing was...
Yes, we learned about the unsealing of the warrant post-arrest, sir.
Okay.
When he was already, it was revealed to us that it was opened on March 7, although not transmitted to any government.
Okay.
We only received notice, formal notice. I think when the unsealing happened, that's when all the rumors started.
Okay.
I think
So-
that was the basis of President.
Thank you for that, SILG, because that factual na meron na nung March 7 na unseal, etc. So
But
I
again,
won't...
sir, I clarify that
Yes.
there was no one in complete knowledge of the unsealing until after the arrest.
Who unsealed it ba, theoretically? Or
It
what
was
office?
Secretary Boying, it was unsealed by the ICC.
By the ICC?
By the court, yes.
By the
Yes.
court, okay. Let's fill in the blanks na lang factually as you know, what do you call this, permits. But ang point ko, from the time it was unsealed, served to the President, did any government lawyer look at it muna and make a determination? Or we took it at face value na yan?
Yes, sir. Again,
You can change my words if you think
again,
prejudicial
sir,
yung word.
just to be in the ICC in whatever way or form, we only received the warrant of arrest, the PCTC, on March 11, 3 a.m.
But so when the
PCTC, sir.
Yeah, okay. When that office received it, ang marching orders or ang SOP or if my words are prejudicial, correct me, please. I don't mind. I'm not put bias or prejudice. I'm just speaking the way I understand it. Did any look at it and check it out muna na or iserve na natin to?
Copy. I talked to the Secretary of Justice. He reviewed it. He assumed that it had a presumption of regularity as informed, and we subsequently informed the President of the existence of the warrant.
Okay. You concur with that?
Yes,
OJ,
yes.
yeah.
I reviewed. Transmit out to me.
This wasn't...
I was in Vienna at that
Yeah,
time.
this isn't a trick question. So meaning, if you said no one reviewed, I would have asked, wouldn't it be a better protocol that someone reviewed para even before the accused goes to court. But saying that you reviewed it, I assume that you found it regular, and I won't argue with you there. I mean, I disagree that the warrant rise to the level that ipadala mo na lang siya doon, dapat sa court muna. But you were satisfied at least in form. Again, I don't want to put words form and substance, but you know what I mean. Tinignan mo, and then okay na ano to.
Yes,
Tinignan mo, or
I
meant
gave the
your
clearance.
office. Your
I gave the clearance to serve the warrant.
Okay. So, again, I just want to make a point at that point in time that for me, kung tinanggap nung accused, nung arestuhin, okay lang. Pero kung hindi, sana may judicial review available. No, I already
Sir,
made the
it was,
point of.
Sir, it was received at the first available instance that the accused allowed himself to read it.
Yes, that's where I disagree nga kasi something this complex, di ba? I would have rather, I don't know if it's 15 days, 30 days, give them enough time, etc. to go there. Si SOJ naman explained the thin line between cooperation, jurisdiction, and everything. Okay? But meron representative ang government, diba? Kasi, so we turned over the arrested former President Duterte not to the Interpol, no? We turned them over to ICC.
Our Interpol representative turned him over to the ICC.
So if we were cooperating with Interpol, why didn't we turn them over to Interpol? And then sila na.
We did, sir. Mr. Lacanilao was the representative of the Interpol. He accompanied the president to, former president to The Hague.
But hindi ba dual? Kasi di ba Mr. Lacanilao is Ambassador Marcus Lacanilao?
Yes, sir.
And
He is
he's
also
the-
part of the PCTC.
Yeah, but he's the special envoy for transnational crime.
Yes, sir. And
So he's representing the Philippine government, not Interpol.
Transnational Center for Transnational Crime is Interpol, sir.
Yeah, but what I meant is that he's representing the Philippine participation in Interpol.
He was given an appointment by the president to represent the Philippines in this matter.
Yes. Ang understanding ko lang SILG, di ba? So yung ICC, sinabi, kasi nga, wala naman sa Netherlands. Kung nasa Netherlands, then they would have asked the Dutch police, di ba? But since nga, or the state police, di ba? But since wala nga, they asked, and since the state withdrew, they asked the Interpol, and Interpol asked us. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
So, if we were cooperating only with Interpol, dapat sinurrender natin sa Interpol.
Yes, sir. That's what we did, sir.
No, Mr. Lacanilao
He was appointed.
turned him over directly to the ICC, not to the
Yes, sir.
Interpol.
Mr. Lacanilao was given a special appointment by the president on that day, sir, on March 11, to represent the Philippines in the Interpol.
Yes, but the representative nung Interpol.
He was the representative, sir.
So dual siya, representative ng Philippines at ng International Interpol.
No, sir. If the structure of the Interpol is that the PCTC, the members of the PCTC, or as instructed by the president, becomes the representative of the Interpol. The Interpol, sir, does not mean that this international police will effect the arrest. The local members of the PCTC
acts as
the
their
Interpol.
agent.
Yes,
So
sir.
when it says here, representing the state authorities for the purpose of surrender, Mr. Marcus Lacanilao, in this capacity, was representing the Interpol.
Yes, sir.
Not the Office of the President or the Philippine government.
No, sir.
I'll clarify that kasi usually pag special envoy, you're representing the government.
He was properly documented and
Okay.
appointed, sir.
Sige. Dati Lacanilao lang, ngayon medyo mas malinaw. Yes, okay. So, factual lang, agree to disagree on the other issues. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you to... yeah.
Okay. At this juncture and due to the lateness of the hour, I'd like to get rid of some housekeeping. Matapos lang, gusto ko lang ipakita yung arig na orig nating defender ng ICC dito sa Senado. Balikan lang natin ang dating Senadora Miriam Defensor Santiago po.
As a benchmark in the progress of international human rights, the court represents a triumph of international criminal justice by establishing individual criminal liability for those responsible for serious violations of their own statute. The salient features of the Rome Statute are bullet, principle of complementarity, spelled PL, not PLI, complementarity. The court will act only as a court resort. It acts only in exceptional cases where a court has failed to bring justice because that court is unwilling or unable to investigate those who have the highest responsibility for the most serious international community. Kaya nakikita mo na dito na kung merong ginawang kasalanan dito sa nakalista na mga jurisdiction ng ICC, ang magbibista niyan ay ang korte doon sa bayan na yon, hindi ang International Criminal Court in The Hague. International Criminal Court, as I said, is a court of last resort. Pag hindi mo mabigyan ng katarungan ang akusado, ayaw mo o kaya hindi mo kaya, ay saka pa lang yan pupunta sa ICC.
Okay, so narinig natin at ito yung diskurso at paliwanag pagkatapos ng ratifikasyon ng ICC dito sa Senado noong 2011. Maliwanag na court of last resort ang ICC at pupunta lang tayo dyan kapag ayaw o hindi kaya ng ating korte dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon, nangangamba ako pagkat ang SOJ natin sinabi that the families or the victims of the so-called EJK were compelled to sue abroad inasmuch as there was a failure of our justice system. Hindi na gumagana ang ating mga korte. Sa mabilis lang na pananalita, baka naman isa sa inyo ang pwedeng magpaliwanag dito sa kapalpakan or kawalang kakayahan ng ating korte na umandar. Kasi yun ang sinabi. Pero ang sabi naman ni Senator Santiago, the rule of complementarity, I think the DFA is more than familiar with that. Kabisado natin yan. Lahat ng treaty, complementarity ang sabi eh. Kapag hindi na kinaya o ayaw ng mga korte sa Pilipinas, doon lang tayo hahantong sa ICC. Tama po ba yun?
Mama, pwede ho kung... Ang ano kasi nito, yung mga nagpunta sa ICC ay sinubukan nila makakuha ng hustisya sa Pilipinas. Ngunit nabigo sila.
Pero sinabi ni Senator CAYETANO kanina, ni walang naghain ng kaso dito.
Yun nga,
Ni isa.
ang problema nga po rito kasi, yung mga nangyari lalo na sa Mindanao, wala ho talagang paggalaw ang mga piskal ng panahon na yun. Hindi talaga gumagalaw ang kaso. Kasi...
Ang sinasabi niyo may pumila?
Merong mga nagreklamo, nagdangkang magreklamo, ngunit wala pong nangyari.
Pero
Yun po
hindi sila
yun ang
nag-file.
kaya sila nagpunta sa ICC.
Hihingi kami ng...
Hindi ko sila kilala, ma'am, pero yun nga ang yung mga nakausap ko na nung ilang mga araw nakaraan, yun sinasabi nila sa amin.
Maraming salamat, pero kung maaari, bigyan kami ng kopya ng DOJ kasi wala kaming kaalaman na ni isang kaso ay nahain sa anumang korte ng Pilipinas. Kung meron kayo...
Ginapin po namin, maghahanap po kami.
Okay. Pero, parang inaamin ngayon ng ating kabinete, lahat ng mga kinatawan na narito, na yung ating judiciary system, ang ating mga korte, hindi na gumagana.
Gumagana po. Gumagana ang ating judiciary system.
Pero narinig natin ang dakilang senadora na nakalipas na huling hantungan lang ang ICC. Dapat hindi pupunta doon kung hindi talagang palpak na, talagang surrender na
Nga ho ito eh. Ilang taon na nga ho silang nagpunta sa ICC. Hindi lang naman ngayon po yan eh. Sila po yung nagpunta sa ICC noong 2016, 2017. Hindi pa ho, panahon pa ho ni Pangulong Duterte. Nakademanda na ho, nagdedemanda na po sila. Yun ho, dapat maging maliwanag dito.
Sige,
Hindi po
pahingi
sila
na-
nagpunta ron nung 3 years ago lang. Nagpunta po sila ron 8 or 9 years ago, nandun na po sila. Kasi marami ho rito, yung mga nangyari po sa Davao, nung mayor pa ho si President Duterte.
So sana maibigay sa amin ang listahan ng mga kasong hinain nito sa Pilipinas na hindi naman umusad na talagang walang pag-asang magtagumpay. Isa yun. Ikalawa, nakailang beses na sinasabi ng ating Pangulo paulit-ulit na umaandar ang mga korte dito, mahuhusay ang ating mga huwes at abogado. Bakit biglang inaamin natin na pumalpak ang ating korte?
Ayun nga, nagkaroon po tayo ng panahon na talagang wala hong nangyari sa mga kaso ng EJK eh. Talagang wala hong nangyari.
Pero may kaso ba?
Nga ho eh, wala nga, hindi police report nga, wala eh. Ganun ho kahirap imbestigahan ang mga kasong yan. Magsisimula kasi tayo, pag tayo po'y nabigyan ng ulat na may nagdedemanda, ang una po natin hahanapin police report. Kasi at least sila po ang naglalagay ng recording ng lahat ng pangyayari sa kanilang mga komunidad. Eh kung police report po wala, saan kayo magsisimula ngayon? Tapos sa mga police na ilipat na sa iba't ibang lugar, wala na makausap.
Si General Marbil nandito, si General TORRE nandito, siguradong pagtitibayin nila na araw-araw may murder sa blatter ng pulis. Pangkaraniwan na krimen
Hindi po sa drug war. Hindi po sa drug
nangyayari
war.
yan.
Sa drug war po, wala pong blatter ang pulis. Marami nga walang blatter eh. Ang problema nga ho dito, napakarami hong namatay na ang death certificate nga nakalagay po cardiac arrest pero may butas po sa ulo mula sa bala.
So
Yun ang
tama yung
kakaiba.
so yun ang sinasabi ninyo, failure of our justice system.
Opo, nung panahon na yon.
So, suko
Nagkaroon
tayo
tayo ng
doon.
problema nung panahon na yon na hindi ho talaga maimbestigahan na maayos kasi pati ho ang piskal tinatakot po ng pulis nung panahon na yon eh.
Nung panahon na yon, ngayong panahon ngayon, hindi ba pwedeng magaya?
Hindi ngayon ho, mas maayos ngayon
Kung
sapagkat sinisigurado po namin na ang piskal at ang pulis ay magkasama mag-imbestiga ng mga krimen. Hindi na ho katulad ng dati. Kung ano sabihin ng pulis, dapat masunod.
Kung mas maayos ngayon, ba't hindi na lang magpila ng kaso dito sa Pilipinas? Maayos na pala eh, nag-iba na.
Hindi ko ho pwedeng tanongin yun sa mga nagdemanda sa ICC. Hindi naman po namin hawak yung mga taong yun eh. Hindi ho namin sila kilala.